I think I've gotten all the mistakes fixed because my first grade class usually catches all my mistakes. Which, by the way, I would consider myself a master at order of operations, and I still make mistakes sometimes. And you guys are going to make a ton of mistakes because you're just starting out, and that is not a bad thing. That's a really good thing. Every time you make a mistake and you investigate it, you're learning something. Okay, so those mistakes are really good. Yeah, Aiden. From here on out, everything's going to involve integers. I mean, maybe when we get to some geometry now, but pretty much math. Well, you have a quiz on Wednesday. And then we're going to move on to algebraic expressions. So we've been doing numerical expressions with the order of operations. We're going to move on to algebraic expressions. But we use these skills for the rest of the year. You do all of 7th grade math and then half of 8th grade math.
Which parts are the 8th grade math?
We haven't gotten there yet, but we will very soon. What? Yeah, I don't have very much for you guys to do today. Okay, there's number 3. Yeah, but I just have a couple really quick examples. Hey, does anybody have anything they want me to go over? You're not sure how I got something? Or what error was made? You guys are good? Okay, take out a piece of paper. We're going to do a couple quick examples, and then we'll move on. All right. So with rational numbers, I'm not going to get super crazy. I won't be giving you huge, long order of operation problems. I'm just going to give you like 2 or 3, maybe sometimes 4 terms for these problems, okay? I just want to make sure if you did run into some rational numbers, some fractions and some decimals, that you would know what to do. Okay, so our learning target today is I can simplify expressions involving rational numbers. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at, and I'm going to show you some tricks for these too, because there are some things that can really help you out. So let's look at an example. Do you guys remember the properties you learned in 6th grade? Commutative, associative, and all that kind of stuff? Distributive, kinda? Okay, it doesn't matter if you know the name or not, but hopefully you remember that there is a property that says you can add in any order, okay? So if that's true, if I can add in any order, what would make the most sense to add first? Adam? Yeah, things maybe with the same denominator. So it would be a lot easier to add negative a half and negative a half first, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to rearrange this. Okay. So what's a negative a half plus a negative half?
-2. Oh no.
Yeah, I heard it. -1. So this is -1. Because remember, if you're adding two negative things, you add them up and the answer will be negative. Okay. Now I have a negative and a positive that I'm adding. So I'm going to subtract those and take the sign of the bigger number. Okay, so what would be 1 minus 3/5? Or what would the answer be here? I heard -2/5. You guys agree? Yeah, okay, because the bigger number is the negative, and when we subtract it, we get 2/5. Now, let me show you another example. This example involves some decimals. Oh, hold on, I messed it up. Just a second. The whole point of this example is that part, so let me fix it. Okay. Now, that property is great, but it only works for addition. It does not work for subtraction, right? But what can I do to change this so that it will work? Right?
Rearrange it and put the 0.5 in it and subtract the 10.5.
Yeah, yes, you can rearrange it. But before we do that, we really ought to have everything being added together. And now we have some skills, right, Lily?
Wait, I forgot what it's called. But we can, I forgot what it's called, but I know what you're thinking of.
The KISS method?
Yeah, yeah.
Keep it, switch, switch?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so I can keep it, switch, switch. Because subtracting 0.5 and adding a negative 0.5, same thing. It's the same thing. And now I can rearrange it so that this is in the front, and it will just be a lot smoother for us, okay? So 10.5 plus negative 0.5 is just gonna be 10. And then we bring everything else down. Well, 10 plus 6 plus 2 is 18. Okay, so whenever you have a subtraction in there, just change it to addition. Keep it, switch, switch, and move on, okay? Now, this also works for multiplication, okay? So if you have a problem that looks like this, okay, wouldn't it make more sense to multiply these two first? Okay, so for multiplication, it doesn't matter which order you do it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip-flop it around here. Now, hopefully, at some point, somebody taught you how to cross cancel, okay? Because you have 8 and 8, so this will become 1 and 1. 7 and 7, this becomes 1 and 1. So now what you have is you have 1 times negative 1, which will just be negative 1. Then we can bring this down. Okay, what's negative 1 times negative 4/5? Yep, Aiden. What? You're multiplying. Cool, you want to help him out? 4/5. It's positive?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, negative times a negative is a positive. And a 1 times 4/5 is 4/5. Okay, your homework tonight is just practicing this skill. And here's your table of contents.